Hello everyone, myself Moir and today's our topic of discussion is introduction to the string. In computer programming, a string is traditionally a sequence of characters, either as a literal constant or as some kinds of variable. The latter may allow its element to be muted and the length change it may be is generally considered as a data type and is often implemented as an array. Data structure of bytes that stores a sequence of elements, typically characters using some characters encoding. String may be denoted more general arrays or other sequence data types and structures depending on the programming language and precise data type. Used a variable declared to be a string may either cause storage in memory to be statically allocated for the predetermined maximum length or employed dynamic allocation to allow it hold a variable number of elements. When a string appears literally in a source code, it is known as a string literal or an anonymous string. In normal languages, which are used in mathematical logic and theoretical computer science, a string is a finite sequence of symbols that are chosen from a set called an alphabet. A primary purpose of string is to store human readable text like words and sentences. Strings are used to communicate information from a computer program to user to of a program. A program may also accept string input from its user. Further, strings may store data expressed as characters yet not intended for human reading. For example, strings and their purposes. A message like file upload complete is a string that software shows to end users. In the program's source code, this message would likely appear as a string literal. Entered text like I got a new job today as a status update on a social media service. Instead of a string literal, the software would likely store this string in the database. Alphabetic state AGTC representing nucleic sequence of DNA. Computer setting of parameters like action equals to edit as a URL query string. Often these are intended to be somewhat human readable, though their primary purposes is to communicate computers. A string data type is a data type modeled on the idea of a format string. Strings are such an important and useful data type that they are implemented in nearby every programming languages. In some languages, they are available to as primitive data types and in as composite types. The syntax of the most high-level programming languages allows for a string, usually quoted in some way, to represent instance of the string data type. Such a meta string is called as literal or literal string literal. Although formal strings can have an arbitrary finite, the length of the strings in real languages is often constrained to an artificial maximum. In general, there are two types of string data types. Fixed length have fixed maximums to be determined at compile time and which used to some memory. Either their maximum is needed or not, whose length is not arbitrarily fixed and which can be varying amounts of memory depending on actual runtime. Most string is in modern programming languages are variable length strings of course even variable length memory. The string length can be stored as a separate integer and put another artificial or implicitly through a termination character, usually a character value with all bits 0, such as C programming languages. C, also null terminated below. Character string data types have historically allocated 1 byte per character, and although the exact character set varied by region, character encoding are similar, enough that programmers could often get away with ignoring this since characters are program treated specially. Where in the same place in all the encodings a program would encounter. These character sets were typically based on ASCII. If text in the one encoding was displayed on a system using a different encoding, was often mangled through or often somewhat readable, and some computer users learn to read the mangled text. Sometimes strings needed to be embedded inside a text file that is both human readable and intended for the consumption by a machine. This is needed in, for example, source code of a programming languages or a configuration files. In this case, the null character is doesn't work, as well as terminator normally invisible and is difficult to input via a keyboard. Storing the string length and would also the inconvenient as manual computation and tracking of the length is tedious and error prone. Okay, thank you.